Hey David, good morning. How you doing today?
Good morning, Matt. Awesome. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited to have you here and talking about something that's passionate to you. I've been talking to you the last few weeks about OCMTBA, the great acronym. Um, has more meaning if you know what it means, and I know you're passionate about that. But tell me about what OCT OCMTBA is, and what your passion is, and what the mission of OCMTBA is.
Absolutely. Hey, before I launch into that, though, two things. One, I think I do have to wish you and Charity a happy anniversary. Special day today.
It
And you
is.
took time
It
out to
is.
spend it on with me. I think you got a much prettier option.
I don't disagree. And when we're done with this and Father Time beard that you're rocking there, I'm looking forward to seeing the before and after COVID-19, the Coco syndrome, as we call it. So I'm glad to be able to have some levity and some time. And I know you're shooting from your remote location deep in the dark caverns of your van. So thanks for taking some time there. But
You
yeah,
got it.
let's
No, this is
let's
not a
get to it.
beard. This is an over the hump flag. I'll be waving it as I race in over the hump.
I
So
love it. I love it.
it's all relative. But yeah, COVID is the other comment I'd make. I mean, I do want to be sensitive to the world situation. I hope that the folks that are listening, that they're enjoying good health and sanity through this time as they're in their stay home positions, hopefully getting a little bit of ride out there. But it's an unusual one, and we're hoping to get past that soon. And then we'll really be able to launch into OCMTBA. We actually started this right before the whole COVID dynamic hit. OCMTBA is affectionately an acronym because we all like acronyms for Orange County Mountain Bike Association, and kind of sums it up. This is a association of all of the design point being of all the mountain bike clubs here in Orange County. The idea is essentially to unify our voice and to present us as a larger single body that we really are in the things that are of greatest interest to the mountain bike community and to the land management. At the end of the day, we're pretty lucky in Orange County. We've got a lot of great places to ride,
Mhm.
but practically speaking, we also have a lot of folks out there riding. So we wanted to make sure we had an entity that had an interest in trail advocacy, both in terms of preserving our rights to those lands, as well as hopefully expanding them and getting us into some more places to play.
Awesome. Awesome. And when you started this conversation, I mean, there's some clubs, there's teams, there's all kinds of things all over Orange County, and I know that your desire is really to more unify that as opposed to be a new standout that is attracting a bunch of attention without having a purpose. So maybe you can play into a little bit. Tell us how the coalition, and I think that's the best. The two things I've really been thinking about with relationship to OCMTBA is the coalition aspect and the tribe aspect. I mean, I think
Yep.
we're really doing a lot of what has already happened with unifying relationships in Orange County around the mountain bike community, Over the Hump, and others. That now we're pulling things together. So tell me about how this fits in the landscape of the current mountain bike clubs, the IMBA share club for sake of conversation, the types of things that are out there already. Where does this fill a need, and what's the need you perceive?
So OCMTBA is not a club. We'll encourage everyone that is interested in joining and supporting that they do it through their club if they have an existing club, or that they look for a club to be part of. This is an umbrella coalition. So the entire intent of this is to have presence from all of the fantastic clubs we already have in Orange County,
Okay.
put that presence together, and have each of those representatives speak for their particular group, right? So we've got folks like AMTR, the gals from Trail Angels, folks like the Mazda MTB. Very happy to see Michael come on board from Red Monkey, and they'll have each a representative that will speak on behalf of their own constituency when we have things like our advisory council meetings. But it's
Okay.
an overlay. It's not a replacement for a club, simply a way to put all the club managers together so that when we speak beyond our MTB tribe, that we speak as one with more power. I mean, I'm excited. We haven't, because of the world situation, we haven't done any active marketing. And as it sits right now, we already represent through the various club populations, probably the better part of 1,200 mountain bikers. And I think we're just beginning
That's
to chip
awesome.
away at that iceberg. Yep.
That's awesome. So there's been some hot topics in Orange County, and I think that that surrounding trail use and mountain bikes, e-bikes, I mean all kinds of things. What kind of made you aware of a need and kind of the sticky point of why something like OCMTBA, coalition is necessary?
Yep. No, great question. So I've been kind of using the 80-20 rule. I think the majority of us, the 80%, are kind of aimed in the right direction, in the same direction, I should say, not, I'm not judging right or wrong, but we're in the same direction. But when we present a little bit differently, each of us.
Hmm.
And so what ends up happening, I think, is we sometimes get lost in the noise. So if you think about it, if you've got X number of clubs that go to a land manager or an authority meeting and they present their position on a topic, and each one's a degree different, and there's 20 presentations and it takes 2 hours, it sort of presents a little bit of confusion and less pressure for action. And so the
Right.
thought process was, let's do that between ourselves.
Sure.
Let's get that discussion going and that decision made in terms of what we want to present, what we want to ask for, and to be fair, what they want to present back to us, and then have a single point of contact.
Right.
Right.
And a single point of contact being the coalition, and then each of the leadership points for each of the individual represented groups, if I understand it correctly.
Correct. Yes, we might say, we'd like to advocate for a particular trail to be officiated, like Lizards was done in the Laguna Coast Wilderness a while back.
Right.
And rather than having 20 different folks stand up at a podium and say, hey, I'd like to have Lizards open because I like the rocky part of the trail, or I like to have Lizards open because it's got a nice view,
Sure.
or I'd like to have Lizards open because there's some shade. We're going to go in and say, hey, using our current numbers, 1,200 of the mountain bikers in Orange County are respectfully requesting that Lizards be officiated as a trail for our particular passion, mountain biking. It goes both ways. We've already had experience also, again, not really formally launched in due to the current situation. We've already had agencies that have come back to us and asked us to communicate back to the participating clubs and ask them to be careful about certain things, right? Like
Sure.
passing on a trail in the
Sure.
world of social distance.
Right. Makes sense. So it's kind of creating a voice then, uh, and also for sake of a better sake of a better example, since we're both staring here at headphones and microphones, the headphone and microphone allowing us to be able to kind of interface with the user groups along with the managing partners of these different land places. I mean, we've got in Orange County um, multiple authorities of different. We've got the Cleveland National Forest. We've got Orange County Parks. Um, we've
State
got
park.
state. I mean, you got all kinds of entities. Lord knows, as a event promoter, I've had the opportunity to kind of have to walk through the differences in each of those different agencies. So to have that voice and have that unification is a pretty good thing, and be able to hear back from them and say, hey, look, this is important. We're not a bunch of downhill monkeys that have full face helmets on, and all we want to do is do what we want to do without the fact that it's without some kind of representation that, hey, we care about the places we're riding and the people that we're riding with and around. So I think that's a pretty clear distinction. I think the one thing that's going to be interesting as you roll this out is um, people's participation. There's all kinds of different groups. There's all kinds of different people. There's all levels of riders. There's all levels of experience, from the very elite professional riders that live in Orange County, and it is a mecca for mountain biking, and we've got lots of great guys that ride here and very skilled people, all the way down to like, hey, I just bought my first $900 hardtail, $500 hardtail mountain bike, and I want to learn how to ride, where to ride, what to ride, with who to ride. So maybe you can walk us through what is the coalition's kind of process 3-step workflow for what the coalition is going to do to manage, help, and facilitate all three of those within an existing structure that fosters good behavior.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I would be remiss if I didn't first comment that the beauty of something like this is that it's not me. You have great resources. The leadership and the clubs that exist right now, they have, there's all manner of fantastic shares, done a great job with trail work and government interface, and you've got folks that are very highly in tune to national entities like IMBA.
Sure.
As this begins to get, as we get past this weird condition and we get into real momentum, you're going to see the power of the tribe, because the folks that are in our coalition and the representatives of those clubs will bring those strengths forward. The way we're doing it, we're trying to keep it very simple. And Matt, I'm a simple guy because I can't get too deep or I get confused. But
Love it.
we're kind of focused on essentially 3 pillars. We have currently kind of affectionately named the first one, show the way. And so we've got retailer participation. When a party purchases a new bike and they're at the point of sale, they'll be introduced to OCMTBA and they'll be offered to be linked to an OCMTBA affiliated club. And the OCMTBA affiliated clubs, of course, have already agreed to participate. They will embrace this party. They'll take them out on the trails, give them a little part of the family to join, and help them to show them how good they are in their trail etiquette, so that we can sort of set the tone correctly for a beginner rider. And I think it's important. I mean, you see a lot of folks that come on and they buy a bike and they don't really know who to connect with, where to go, and how to go about it. And we've got fantastic people that'll really kind of take the time and show them that way. So show the way is the first part. And then we have a second pillar where we're basically just affirming to our entities, to the land managers and the like, that we do understand the requirements of a mountain biker in a multiple use landscape. We've got equestrian and pedestrian communities. We understand the etiquettes and the rules, and we'll play against that, and we'll have some fun with that in terms of kind of taking folks through and showing that we've all validated that position.
Sure.
And then the third piece, the most important part, is the advisory council. And this is where the umbrella comes into play. We have quarterly formal sessions with all of the representatives of all the participating clubs in an executive advisory council with an agenda to formalize a finite, reasonable set of requests that we have back to the folks that run the places that we access, and that gives those folks the opportunity to communicate back to us in a good old-fashioned telephone tree format, right? Tell the advisory council member, and the advisory council member will take it forward to his constituency, his or her constituency. So really, 3 core components: welcoming new folks on board, affirming our good behavior as mountain bikers in Orange County and our etiquette that we already demonstrate, and then also getting together and communicating in as efficient a manner and as effective as manner as possible, so that unified voice really has some power, as it should have, in our particular part of the Orange County trail access.
Awesome. Well, so it sounds like there's a really good structure. It sounds like there's a process that we can get involved with as individuals here in Orange County, as well as club leaders and community leaders. How can somebody go about getting involved if they're interested in joining the coalition and being a part? I would say there's probably 2 people we're talking to here. One is probably the person that's individually riding that just doesn't know where to get connected. How can that person get involved? And then secondly, how can we get involved if we're a club and we want to bring our voice to the table and be represented here in Southern California?
No, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. If your club is already present, and you will see that if you go to our website, www.ocmtba.com, you'll see on the website all of the participating clubs. As a club decides to join into the coalition, we add them in. If your club is participating, you already are part of the voice. Your leadership has already agreed that they will present issues on your behalf, vote on your behalf, and communicate back to you, and that's fantastic. If you believe in what we're doing as it progresses forward and you want to show type of support, you can always register for us directly through IMBA We're on the IMBA structure as a regional under the local program, and you can sign up for OCMTBA that way. Certainly don't have to, but welcome the support that way. But first of all, first option, your club's already in. Second option, you're in a club, but the club isn't in yet. And as I've commented a couple of times, we haven't actively marketed out of respect for the current situation. So if your club doesn't know about it and you believe in it, please share with your leadership and ask them to reach out to us through the website, to reach out to me, contact you, Matt, however the case could be. And we'll talk about getting your club part of the coalition so you are part of that coalition. And if you're not in a club presently and you're looking for a home, a family to join as a kind of a small group in the large group, again, go to the website, look at the clubs that are there, or contact us, and we'll certainly refer you to an OCMTBA club. We'd like to have everybody in the territory represented at the end of the day. And so there's kind of 3 levels where you can come in. Your club's in, and you're in support of it. You have a club, but you'd like them to be in, or you don't have a club right now, you'd like to be introduced to a club, we'll introduce you to one with OCMTBA and then take it from there. Right. We are in a, I guess, adjunct to this, we're in a phasing methodology because of the whole COVID dynamic. So we are currently building the club roster. As I think most of us know, retail is a little unusual right now in the current stage in California.
Yes, it is.
So
I think unusual is probably the most politically correct and crazy way to describe anything that we're experiencing in life right now. I feel like I'm walking on the moon 9 days out of 10.
So we have, as a result of that unusual, we respecting our retailer friends, folks like Rock and Roll, the Cyclery. We can't invoke the things like the Show the Way program yet because it's just not in their capacity to take that rider that's purchasing that bike through that process as it is already. They've got to put their mask on and walk in solo and all the good stuff there. Right. So I would say our phase currently is the roster building phase as the state deploys us to more open phases of doing business. We'll be able to formalize the onboarding program. We will light up the online tools that we'll use for a little bit of fun around the showing that we are good trail citizens program, which I think is, I don't want to take all the fun away, but it'll be kind of a fun little thing to do online, easy technology use, and kind of a fun little reward, badge of honor that'll come out as a result of that. Excellent. But long answer to short question. Get your club in if they're not in yet, and if you don't have a club, find one, because it's the best way to rock. If you've got a little small group in the big world of community, I think we would all agree that's a lot more fun.
Well, I think that's the thing about mountain biking that's such a blessing and a benefit is that this shared interest and intrigue and being outside, riding our bikes and having a good time really plays out better if you've got a couple, 3 people more with you and you're able to kind of share the love. So, one, it's a safe way to ride, but 2, it sure adds a lot more of a fun dynamic to be able to ride with friends. And so that's why I'm grateful to be a part and excited about the coalition, and OCMTBA is here, though I struggle to say it, a tongue twister. Next time I'll need to sleep more than the amount of designated hours I got last night. But I think to be said, Over the Hump is largely in support and already a part of what we're seeing happen here in OCMTBA, and I'm excited to be able to join the board and the team, being able to share the love of what we have in common, and also be able to kind of hear the voice of the dissenting voices too. I think that's kind of the part of this that's really cool, is being able to engage without billy sticks in hand and look for an opportunity to find the best for everybody in a world that we can ride more trails, have more fun, and be able to enjoy that together. So that's going to be a good thing all the way around.
No, we're super excited, and we know we do not have all the answers, and we do know there are going to be some interesting topics and not instant answers all the time. But I do remain convinced that the quality of the people in our community, when you put them together, is powerful. Absolutely. That I think we can go through and process a lot of these things and get some progress on some of the stuff that we get stuck on. And then I think at the end of the day, with 1,200 growing to how many thousands of voices being put together in a single voice, we will have more strength to ask for the things that matter to our mountain bike community to continue to preserve and enjoy this sport in Orange County.
Absolutely. Well, David, thank you for joining me today. It's fun to be able to hear your vision, share it with the tribe, and looking forward to seeing where we all go together down the same trail. So thanks for jumping in and being a part.
And thank you for your support, Matt. It would be remiss, I'll use that phrase again, but it is important to acknowledge that this happens because of some pretty strong people that are already on board. So, of course, like you commented, Matt, you're on the board. Having the industry representation, having the retail representation, like we commented on a couple of stores before, having the right club folks on, is going to be what makes it happen. So, boy, if you watch this video and you lasted this long listening to my boring drivel, please spread the word, because I think that's where the power's at. A lot of it's viral right now until we can kind of come out of this crazy and let folks know so we can continue to build the masses. In closing, I have to say again, happy anniversary. And I really enjoy your assistant in the background. That's proof of the anniversary. One of the 3 proofs of the anniversary is right back there helping out.
It's funny to be sitting here and in the back of my mind screaming, no, I need a sterile environment. And at the same time, knowing that, we are currently homeschooling, sharing my office with 3. And so couldn't be better. So thanks, David. Have a good day. And look forward to catching up with you and seeing where we go together.
OCMTBA. Check
All
us
right.
out on the web. Thanks.
Have a good day.
Take care.